Hi, my name is Casey Drummond, and I will be talking about Monroe's motive and to persuade my audience that drug testing should be allowed for anyone receiving welfare assistance. Today, I have an audience of one. To persuade my audience that welfare applicants should be drug tested to prevent inappropriate use of government funding, I'll include Monroe's motive sequence showing you the need for testing, satisfaction, and visualization. Welfare is a contagious handout that more and more Americans are using daily and not focusing on receiving a job. According to Mick.com, temporary assistance and taxpayer money is used to fuel their drug addictions, not to mention what they spend on strip clubs, luxury vacations, filet mignons, and as one Missouri legislator recently called out. Welfare applicants are not being questioned where they spend their users, so they don't have to worry about being tested for this, or they don't have to be worried about using drugs or any of the money to selfish needs. According to a 2011 test, every welfare recipient was drug tested before they received their assistance, and 60% of users of the money were tested positive for drugs. Many professions and corporations require their employees to be tested prior to work, and they have no problem with signing that, okay, go ahead and test me for work. But whenever it comes to applicants being tested for free money, they oppose to the test and call it unconstitutional to their Fourth Amendment. Today I'm speaking with all Americans who are pro for testing against welfare recipients. Due to many controversial facts and politicians, I have done much research on both parties and viewed the opposing parties' fight on what their view is on this controversy. Despite both sides, many people believe that majority of welfare users are also using illegal drugs. Both parties have a good fight in their opinions, but I will tell you why drug testing should be enforced in all states and for every welfare applicant. We need a change in our system. The government does not filter what welfare money is being spent on. Therefore, people without a job continue to be unemployed and accept a check from the hardworking class. Our country lives on handouts from American workers. It's not about what I can do for my country, but what can my country do for me. It's continuing to be more of a take, take, take instead of a give and take from those who are working. Welfare applicants should be held to a higher efficient standard in life. If they are grown up enough to accept the free money, then they are grown up enough to take a test in order to receive this money. We will move on to satisfaction. The solution that welfare applicants should be tested is good. At first, people will see it as a negative for the economy because of the cost of testing each and every applicant, and maybe it's going to be a lengthier process, but a positive in the long run will be seen in the taxpayer dollars and be able to be kept in the states for other uses such as educational and construction and transportation uses. Once a drug test is positive, the applicant will no longer be subjected for use in the future. Taxpayer dollars should not be used to support a person's drug habit, Nelson said in a statement. We need to ensure this program is being put into individuals on a true path to self-sufficiency, and drugs are a barrier to their independence. 12 states have currently taken on this progress in having drug tested for each applicant. Their policy on it is the first failed test, they're suspended for 6 months. After the 6 months of being suspended, they can try again. During that 6 months of suspension, the child, if they do have children, are designated to a person who is in charge of their money. So the children aren't left out of receiving their money, but the parents are not going to receive anything until they test positive. After the 6 months, they are able to take a test again. If they still test negative or positive for drugs, they will not receive any kind of welfare for another year. After that year, and they still are tested positive for drugs, then they will be completely removed from the program. The opposing party suggests that those who believe drug testing should be allowed feel singled out and that their Fourth Amendment is taken away. They also believe that being tested for welfare assistance, they believe that others who are receiving Social Security and such as their tax refund should be tested in a way that is very silly because the statement is false. The difference is that because the money from Social Security is being taken out of each worker's paycheck, that the money is being taken out from them working. And also a tax refund is being subjected and put together from a portion of the year's refund for that current tax worker. Therefore, welfare is given solely on a social contract that each party is to trust both sides and keep their promise. The recipient is to give back to the community as he or she receives their assistance. Now, there is no one that keeps up with who is doing what for their community, but it's part of that social contract. Visualizing the solution. There is not a solution that everyone will absolutely agree on, but taxpayers deserve to know where their hard-working money are going to, and that the money is being spent wisely and not funding negative habits. According to US Today, receiving a public benefit is a privilege, not a right. Many people are making a big deal about having to take any kind of test. Making people pass a urine test before they can have food is for their own good. We're trying to help people who are in need in our assistance to give jobs, because the best thing we can do for them in life is to make sure they get the skills and education they need, and make sure they are drug free if they have an addiction to get back in the workforce and on their feet. In conclusion, it's obvious that we should review both sides in every decision-making conflict, especially this particular subject. We must visualize today people can make their own personal choices, but to receive a government assistance, then the applicant must be willing to set aside selfish wants for help.